Very dear students and my colleagues, very warm welcome to Dr. Zia Ahmed YouTube channel. Today we shall be discussing another chapter of the novel The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. And the chapters today, as it's being indicated, are chapter number 16 and chapter number 17. As there is very little to discuss within them, so that is why I'm not allocating separate chapter to one video. Two chapters will be discussed in this video. The story has already been discussed in many other videos. However, very briefly, I would introduce the story here that after living 7 years, Hester Prynne decides to disclose secrets to the person who was responsible for the childbirth and whom she possibly loved, rather, that is Dimmesdale. And she wanted this in order to secure her own life, also that of the minister, Dimmesdale. But this is very strange that why she is doing this after complete 7 years. Perhaps she has borne the brunt and now she has gathered the courage. This thing which I am saying now that she has gathered the courage is discussed within these chapters as well. We shall come across with these lines when we discuss these chapters. So they meet in a forest where lots of trees are present, animals are present, brooks are present, leaves are present, and the gloom is present. Not only this, but also Pearl, their daughter, is also present. So these chapters are actually a meeting, a rendezvous between the two lovers, and how they plan to come out of that. So this is what is discussed in these chapters. Let us see what does chapter 16 has for us. Very small thing begins here. Hester never thought of meeting him in any narrower privacy than beneath the open sky. That sentence goes to show that Hester is going to meet Dimmesdale in the open sky instead of any room or home. She's going to meet him upon sky. So this is very ridiculous and ironical that the person, because of whom she suffered that much, she's going to meet that very person in the open without hiding anything and without keeping it secret from the world. She's going to meet him. Perhaps the jungle of the human beings in the cities may not be able to keep that secret which he wanted to have. The same secret will be kept by the open sky. So that is the kind of message which this chapter is going to lend us. Let us go more into the chapter and see what does it have for us. Many pages would be skipped, but the most essential passages would be read out and discussed by us. Now this passage said, Mother said, little Pearl, the sunshine does not love you. It runs away and hides itself because it is afraid of something on your bosom. Now see, there it is, playing a good way off. Stand you here and let me run and catch it. I am but a child, it will not flee from me, for I wear nothing on my bosom yet. Now this is the part of the chapter where we see that Hester, with her daughter Pearl, is inside the jungle, and there are shades in the jungle. They're walking on a path, very less trodden path, and sunshine is there in the sky, and that sunshine, wherever the trees are little or less in quantity and shade, the sunlight shines there, and it falls on the child Pearl also, then on the mother as well, Hester Prynne. But more so, it has been seen by Pearl as a child that sunshine runs along her and it does not run with the mother. So that is why she says that let her go and pass through the sunshine so that she may be enjoying the sunshine. She says that sunshine will not run away from her because she's not wearing the scarlet letter A yet. So in this way, the writer wants to give the message that if she was wearing the scarlet letter, sunshine was not in her lot. She could not come under the sunshine even if she wanted. That means she could not disclose herself, open herself to the people, and couldn't take part in the life, general stream of life because of that scarlet letter. Now, Pearl, through the tongue of Pearl, the same thing is being indicated very symbolically. Let's go deep and see more in this chapter, what else we can have. So, mother and the daughter are in the forest and they are walking sometime under the darkness and sometime under the sunshine. Now, here is another passage. Let's make a reading of this passage. Oh, a story about the black man, answered Pearl, taking hold of her mother's gown and looking up half earnestly, half mischievously into her face. How he haunts his forest and carries a book with him, a big heavy book with iron clasp, and how this ugly black man offers his book and an iron pen to everybody that meets him here among the trees, and they are the right to. And they are to write their names with their own blood, and then he sets his mark on their bosoms. Just thou ever meet the black man, mother? So here is another passage, very beautiful and interesting passage, where a common superstition is being discussed by Pearl with her mother. Pearl says that possibly here are the black men who are mischievous men, who are devilish men. They have a book and they come to the lonely people who come in the forest, and they ask that person to write something on the book or sign there, but with their blood. And with the passage of time, they are affected with the whole situation. So that superstition is being told by Pearl. Pearl possibly has listened these superstitions from the from a magician woman who is governor's sister, Mrs. Hibbins, and she is relating all that. But this story is not insignificant here. It means that one evil is responsible for giving birth to another evil. And if something like that happens, because of which human being becomes suffering, they may continue to suffer throughout their life. And little innocent daughter, Pearl, is allocating the reason of wearing this scarlet letter on the bosom of the mother because of her meeting with the black man. So in this way, superstition is there, but that superstition is working in the mind of the child to justify the wearing of the scarlet letter. Okay, so wearing of the scarlet letter has been justified. Let's see what more we can have about this thing that we are going to talk about. And yes, the new passage that we need to read, possibly maybe in the ending portion of the chapter, it is here. But now, bird, I hear a footstep along path and noise of one putting aside the branches. I would have thee betake thyself to play, and leave me to speak with him that comes yonder. Is it the black man? Asked the bird. Wilt thou go and play, child? Repeated her mother. But do not stray for in the wood, and take heed that thou come at my first call. So the closing of this chapter is being made in such a way that the stage is prepared for the next part of the story. Because here Dimmesdale is coming, but the mother says that it is somebody who's coming and she wants to meet him. So that is why Pearl should give them some time by playing here and there. Mother's care for Pearl is also noted in the ending line, that she should remain close wherever she would call. She may be able to come back. So that is the stage now where the lover and the beloved, minister and Dimmesdale, after bearing punishment for 7 years, on both the parts, minister on his chest, and this woman also having the name of disfamy, or one can say notoriousness, on her bosom. She has been bearing everything, and now they are going to meet after 7 years. Let's proceed to the next area and see when they meet what is the thing which they discussed and how they derive solace from each other. For this purpose, definitely we need to enter into chapter 17 as well, which is titled as The Pastor and His Parishioner. Now, pastor is Arthur Dimmesdale, and the parishioner is the woman Hester Prynne. So they are going to meet. They are the lovers of the pastime. They are responsible for the birth of Pearl, and they have been equally punished. Hester is punished by the society. Arthur Dimmesdale has self-punished himself. So let us see what happens here, what kind of secret Hester has come to share, and what is the impact of sharing of that secret. She says it was with fear and tremulously, and as it were by a slow, reluctant necessity, that Arthur Dimmesdale put forth his hand, chill as death, and touched the chill hand of Hester Prynne. The grasp, cold as it was, took away with what dearest in the interview. They now felt themselves at least inhabitants of the same sphere. This paragraph is not that important, but this is important with the reference that both the hands are very cold, and even after their meeting doesn't make their hands warm. So there is no warmth of love at this moment. It is the coldness and dryness of love at this moment, because both are considering themselves responsible for the condition they are in. So that is why the paragraph simply refers to the coldness of the hands of each other. And with the passage of time, Hester said, "Hast thou found peace?" Hester, has thou, she asked. So both the people are asking each other whether they have found the peace, and each one of them has found any peace in the mind. Possibly the question is being put because neither of these two people have found the peace of mind in any way. That is why the dialogue is being repeated. Have you found the peace? And the same question is being repeated for the other party as well, that peace has not been found at all. So possibly the people who love and go against the laws of love, they definitely lose peace of mind and heart, and ultimately they are living in such a disturbed condition as Mr. Dimmesdale has been living, as Hester Prynne has been living. Well, more of that, as for example, and wherefore should it not bring you peace? Why peace has not come? An explanation is here. No, Hester, no, replied the clergyman. There's no substance in it. It's cold and dead and can do nothing for me. Oh, penance, I have had enough. Of penitence, there has been none. Else, I should long ago have thrown off the garments of mock holiness and have shown myself to mankind, as they will see me at the judgment seat. Happy are you, Hester, that wear the scarlet letter openly upon your bosom. Mine burns in secret. Thou little knowest what a relief it is, after the torment of a 7 years' cheat, to look into an eye that recognizes me for what I am. Had I one friend, or were it my worst enemy, to whom, when sickened with the praises of all other men, I could daily betake myself, and known as the vilest of all sinners, methinks my soul might keep itself alive thereby. Even thus much of the truth would have me, but now it's all falsehood, all emptiness, all death. So this is the passage which explains the condition of peacelessness of Arthur Dimmesdale, and he goes to explain with reference to the idea that if somebody is able to share the pain, if somebody is able to talk to the people about the shame, or if somebody is able to tell the people what has gone wrong with that person's punishment is decreased up to some extent. But if a person has to bear everything for himself alone, the pain and the punishment and the shame is even more. Same is the case with Hester Prynne. Hester Prynne is wearing the Scarlet Letter, which goes to express her what she has done. And on the other hand, Arthur Dimmesdale does not wear anything like that. He is rather living a mockery of life, as he says, and is having painful chest also, because he punishes himself too. So that is why he says that his punishment has been more than ever, and that is why he says that he couldn't find the peace at all. And now going down to the next passage, let me read this passage too for you. It is here. Such a friend as thou hast even now wished for, said she, with whom to weep over the sin thou hast me in the pardon of it. Again she hesitated, but brought out the words with an effort. Thou hast long had such an enemy, and dwellest with him under the same roof. Now, this is the time, this is the part of the chapter, part of the book where Hester is going to explain that his pain has been even more because of the presence of a man who is the husband of Hester, and he wants to give more and more pain to Dimmesdale, and he is living with him as a kind of physician, as a kind of healer, as a kind of friend. So that is the kind of thing which has been happening with him, and this is the fact she wants to accept it, that she knew, but even then she didn't tell, and today after 7 years she has come to share this information. So let us see how the information is received by Dimmesdale and how does he react to that. For this purpose, we need to read this paragraph. O Arthur, cries she, forgive me. In all things else I have striven to be true. Truth was the one virtue which I might have held fast, and it hold fast though at the extremity, to all extremity, save when thy good, thy life, thy fame were put in question. Then I consented to a deception, but a lie is never good, even though death threaten on other side. Dost thou not see what I would say? That old man, the physician whom they call Roger Chillingworth, he is my husband. So here's the secret revealed, and she accepts and confesses that she had concealed this secret only because she wanted to save the honor and respect of Dimmesdale. And in the same tone, when he gets all that, Dimmesdale says, Woman, woman, thou art accountable for this. I cannot forgive thee, thou shalt forgive me, cried Hester, flinging herself on the fallen leaves beside him. Let go, punish, thou shalt forgive. So each other is asking for the forgiveness. But apparently and definitely, the priest is very much angry and in difficulty that why the secret was kept from and why he was supposed to live with that person for so long a year. And that is why the kind of anger is there, and the forgiveness is being asked by Hester. Hester would get forgiveness from him by loving him, by showing him the kind of care and the worry and the forgiveness she's demanding, and definitely she would be forgiven. And as a result, Arthur Dimmesdale would gain a new light for him, because both of them forgive each other. For example, here, then there is the broad pathway of the sea, continued Hester, it brought thee thither. If thou so choose, it will be thee back again in our native land, whether in some remote rural village or in West London, or surely in Germany and France and pleasant Italy, thou wouldest be beyond his power and knowledge. So after reading this paragraph, we can we can have a kind of deduction from here that both are planning to move out of this area. And Hester is telling him that if he goes back to London, if he goes to any country like Germany, Italy, there he can live safely without the pain of all these things. The same Dimmesdale is going to suggest for him. So leaving of the place, migrating from the place, possibly remove the problem which they are suffering from. So that is the plan being made, offered by this woman as well as Dimmesdale to each other. So they want to migrate in order to leave the space where they have been feeling all these things, where they have been under the stress of all these things. Let us see what kind of finality they make before the chapter ends. Here again, another paragraph is there. "O Hester," cried Arthur Dimmesdale, in whose eyes a fitful light, kindled by her enthusiasm, flashed up and died away. "Thou tellest of running a race to a man whose knees are tottering beneath him. I must die here." It was the last expression of despondency. He repeated the word, "Alone, Hester? Thou shalt not go alone," answered she in a deep whisper. Then all was spoken. So this is the paragraph which I deliberately have left some of the lines because all lines mean the same thing. That Dimmesdale is willing and wishing at this moment to leave that area and go and settle in some other place. But he would say he cannot go alone. He needs Hester's companionship with him as well. So in that way, love is not just on one part of Hester, it is also in Dimmesdale. He needed just some little courage, and for that courage, the woman Hester was present. Hester gave him this courage, and as a result, he was able to save his life, his happiness, the happiness of Hester, and happiness of his daughter as well. That is why gleam of light is shining in his mind. His spirit is lifting, and he's feeling positive about making a movement in order to come out of the whole situation. And so, in that way, the chapter ends. Flood of sunshine will come in the next chapter when the whole plan will be finalized. We will be talking about that plan as well. So, that was really the chapters I wanted to discuss today in this video. Hopefully, some of the light has been thrown. The key point, the pinpoint is that if a woman wants with her love, she can make a man very strong and make him fight with the world and make him overcome the difficulties. But then there are very little number of women who could be like Hester, who can bear the punishment of the society and keep secret the things for which can damage their lovers, and who can live a life in such a way that they can bear the punishment and after that they can come back to the real life. This is almost similar to the many heroines of Pakistani fiction in English, that they too suffer from the pangs given by the society. They bear it, and with their resilience, they pass through the time and ultimately come back and have a victory. All our 21st century literature, Pakistani literature especially, is replete with all that. So the story goes to prove the power and strength of the woman, with that how she can bear all that, how she can come out with the solutions as well, and how she can give courage with her love, that the man who is just about to die, just on a very weak soul and very weak body, he's going to revive himself. And that is what the woman can do if she is truly in love with any man. So that was all for this video today. Hope to see you in some next video. If you like it, do not fail to hit the subscribe and the like button, and also put some comments or your questions. I may be visiting them and answering them. So till that time, we meet again. Keep happy, keep loving, and keep peaceful. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again.